Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Hell Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing, and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, I have highlights of both the Super League games from Friday night, and this Challenge Cup 4th round weekend as we see all the teams competing, and my focus is on Batley Bulldogs versus the Royal Navy Rugby League side. So before going to the two Super League games, we are going to cover what's going on in the Betfred Challenge Cup this weekend, as there is one game on Saturday, and on Sunday, every single Rugby League game in the top tiers in the UK is a Challenge Cup game, as the championship sides enter the competition. So as I said, one game on the Saturday, North Wales Crusaders versus Hunslet RLFC, and that is shown on the BBC Red button starting from 2 o'clock. You'll be able to see that on your worldwide listings as well. Then Sunday we see Batley Bulldogs versus Royal Navy, more on that to come. Doncaster RLFC versus Whitehaven, Workington Town versus Dewsbury Rams, Hunslet Club Parkside, the other non-league club, will be facing Sheffield Eagles in a home time. That'll be a fun one for the non-league sides. Halifax Panthers, if I wish, face Featherstone Rovers in another League One clash, and London Broncos will face Bradford Bulls. Also on Sunday, there's Rochdale Hornets versus Barrow Raiders, and York City Knights facing off against Newcastle Thunder, with Monday's Premier Sports game being the Leigh Centurions versus Widnes Vikings. So we're going to talk about the Batley Bulldogs facing off against the Royal Navy Rugby League, as the community club that the Royal Navy are, essentially, backed by the forces obviously, are hoping to reach the 5th round for the first time in their history, with a giant killing away from home. The Royal Navy come into this in good form in the Challenge Cup after beating Bridgend Bulls in the first round, then facing the Army Rugby League in the second round, with York Acorn making the long trip down to Portsmouth in the third round, which the Royal Navy put a good performance in to win. The BBC clash between the Bulldogs and the Royal Navy sees the Bulldogs come into the game coming off a defeat against the York City Knights 10 points to 4 last Sunday, while the Navy boys will be travelling up to Batley to look to try and cause an upset. Speaking on the game, Sean Houghton, who's the vice captain of the Royal Navy 13s as well as a sergeant in the Royal Marines, stated, "There's been a good feeling this week getting ready for the game. What we have achieved is brilliant, but that is not the end of it. We go again on Sunday. The lads are excited. We will get up there, relax, and get ready for the game on Sunday. We know we are up against it on Sunday, and we'd love for this run to continue. At the end of the day, it is 17 blokes against 17 blokes, and if we get things right, there is no reason why we cannot cause an upset." In the same interview with Royal Forces TV, head coach Steve Lockton, who is a Chief Petty Officer in the Royal Navy, also stated, "We'll match them on skill and fitness, but they will be quicker around the play of the ball. So we have been looking at a couple of things on that, speaking on the way of beating Batley. We have identified a couple of weaknesses in their team, and I think we can exploit them. I will back my lads against anyone. Did I think we would get to the 4th round and pull out after we pulled out of the inter-services tournament last year? We didn't enter due to lack of numbers? No, I didn't. But when this group came together at the end of January, and we did what we did against Bridgend Blue Bulls, 60 points to 0 in the winner in the first round, they were a tough team. Then we beat a strong senior Army side. these lads are going to do something special, which they haven't done yet. He was also asked about the status of being underdogs in this round, and he said, "We've been the underdogs in the last 2 rounds as well. It speaks on how well the boys have done, the commitment, and how they have applied themselves in the last 2 rounds. The underdog tag will probably sit with us all year, leading us until September, and we like that. So we must do what we do and play the sport we love." With the added spotlight of a BBC game and all the media attention that came with their victories to reach this stage of the league, as well as facing a championship opposition in Batley, Vice-Captain Steve Houghton was asked about how the media attention was being coped with by the lads. "It's been fantastic, the buzz in the camp, and with coming from all over and just going at it. It's brilliant. We're what we have achieved." So that puts a light on rugby league in the armed forces and on rugby league in general. So the Royal Navy will make history if they beat Batley, but if they put in a good performance against Batley, everyone will remember that. Just showing pride in the shirt and showing that the armed forces have got the talent in there as well will prove that rugby league can be played by all as long as they're committed, and they will be able to prove that the last 3 results are not a fluke. In Batley Bulldogs, they are going to face the team that won the first ever Challenge Cup, so that's something to be proud of, and going up to somewhere where they never think they would have gone before as players, playing in a stadium against a championship level club. So now on to Friday night's highlights for the Super League, as we saw 2 games played on Friday night, where we saw Hull KR versus Castleford Tigers, which was the live game on Sky Sports, while St Helens hosted Wakefield Trinity. Both were 8 o'clock kickoffs, and both had meaningful reasons for the game. Trinity were looking for the first points of the season and were facing a Saints side who were looking to make it 3 from 3, while both the Robins and the Tigers were looking for their first wins of the season as well. So here are the teams for the first game that we're going to review, the Hull KR versus Tigers game. And first of all, we see that Will Dagger still deputises in place of the missing Lachlan Coote. Elliot Minicella makes his first appearance of the season for the Hull KR side in place of Corbin Sims, while we see Jez Litton on the bench for Matt Parcells. Jimmy Kinehorse drops out of the squad for Tom Garrett, and Frankie Holton makes his way onto the pitch from the bench in place of Dean Hadley. Phoenix Leilua Tangage, sorry for the mispronunciation, makes his way onto the bench from the missing Jimmy Kinehorse. Jake Marmo drops out of the squad for the Tigers, where we see Jordan Turner return to the starting lineup. Truman O'Brien continue in the halves, while we see Nathan Massey returns to the starting lineup, and George Griffin and Blair come in from the bench. Kane Robb is added to the bench also with Sui Matagi from last week's defeat against Wolves, but Kenny Edwards drops out and Daniel Smith finds his place on the bench. So we'll begin the game with the opening 10 minutes being really stodgy, to be honest, as both sides are trying to get a grip of the game, but mistakes are plenty. Until midway through the first half, Hull KR put up a bomb, which is Castleford put up the bomb, which is chased by Beretta Faraimo, who goes through on the Hull KR winger. Sam Cook as Will Dagger. So here's a little replay. Ball comes up and Beretta Foraimo doesn't anticipate the Hulk KR's man's dip and catches him on the head, which in current means a yellow card, and he was sent to the sin bin, which puts Hulk KR in the ascendancy, as you would think. And not long after this, it sees the first try of the game, and it goes for Hulk KR. Hulk KR decide to spread the ball down the left wing for the numbers. Mikey Lewis clocks in back play, which saw Sean Kenny Dow go over for the first try of the game, with the referee going back to look at the incident. That saw Mikey Lewis strewn on the floor. He seemed to have been caught on the back of the head by a trailing Liam Watt's arm as he was slipping to the floor. But again, it's contact with the head, so Liam Watt had to go and sit in the bin. That meant Cass were down to 11 men, and now 4 points down on the score sheet, as unfortunately Jordan Turner misses the kick. Mikey Lewis though comes back on later on, ironically at the same time as Liam Watt. Still a man down going into half time, Castleford going along the edges, and they find Jordan Turner, who has enough about him to get the ball down, which the video referee confirmed after being checked. After it was checked and given, Gaz O'Brien kicked over the extras to give Castleford the lead at 6 points to 4. But as Castleford returned to a full complement, Hulk KR got on the front foot again, and it's right before half time where we see, in this ever grainier pictures, where Hulk KR are deep in the Castleford line, round about here, the 10-metre line. And Jez Litton throws the ball out wide to Jez Litton. Brad Takarangi takes the tackle, gets the ball out to Mikey Lewis again, and Sam Wood goes in for the try just before half time. A great effort there, you would say, from Hulk KR, and Sam Wood, after his indifferent performance in round 1, he can start to put some form together for Hulk KR. Unfortunately, Jordan Abdul misses the kick again, and that's where we reach half time. So we return from the sheds for the second half with, again, some more error-strewn start to the second half. But tries are plenty. But it only goes one way, I'm afraid. As we come to around about 12 minutes into the second half, and the ball is worked right for Sam Wood to power through Darrell Alfords for the first try of the half, and with a neat bit of play. Watch how he gets the ball and reaches round Darrell Alfords to get the ball on the line. Jordan Abdul added the 2, and that made it 14 points to 6, with a great kick from that right touchline, which was a good angle for the left footer. But Sam Wood seemed to have got his dander up for this second half, as he is in and about the play as the game continued. So he's there with the ball received, and the quick tackle wasn't able to get hold of him, and he powers through and he finds Mikey Lewis, who darts through a gap, who in turn passes it through to Matt Parcells, who waltzes over the try line for Hulk KR's 4th try of the game for 18 points to 6. Abdul again with this simple conversion makes it 20 points to 6. Hulk KR's play is all about momentum, and it is tough fast and quick when that happens, when they get a roll on. And that proves it with their next try, which basically seals up the game. As we see a play the ball deep again in the Castleford 20. And Matt Parcells finds Brad Takarangi hanging about via the the play the ball area, that's the words we're looking for, and just bulldozes his way across for yet another Hull KR try. Just too powerful for the Castleford backs. Again, Abdullah is there with the boots, and it's 26 points to 6. But that's not the last of the scoring, as it is Castleford who actually come in with the last try of the game. And it was quite a good one, to be fair, as they got some momentum up the pitch. They work the ball wide, and they find the winger Beretta Ferramo on the right edge after some good hands from Gareth O'Brien just to put him in a gap, as they worked the right hand side quite well for the overlap. Unfortunately for Castleford, it's all for naught, as the scoring ends there, as O'Brien wasn't able to make the conversion, and the scoring ends at full time as Hull KR get their first win of the season, winning 26 points to 10. So the second game that was played on Friday night was St Helens versus Wakefield Trinity, and it was going to be a tough one for Wakefield no matter what the circumstances were. But they're without a win so far in their 2 games, while St Helens have looked quite formidable going forward. And here are the 2 teams to talk about who are going to face each other in tonight's game. So it's easy to name for the Saints, as they went with the same starting squad as they did in the last game and had the same players available to them again for the 3rd successive game. While Wakefield, unfortunately, is still without Liam Hood due to injury in the last game, Lee Gaskell and Mason Lino. They also had a little bit of injury issue on the 13th minute of this game, as Tom Lynham got injured. So injuries are plenty for everyone during this season. So with Josh Sims staying in the starting lineup after his try-scoring performance last game, sees basically no changes to the starting 17 of Saints. Without Liam Hood, Harry Bowes comes into the squad, while Brad Walker and Jacob Miller are the halves for Trinity. But otherwise, it's as you were. So again, for the first 10 minutes of the game, it was an even contest, with St Helens feeling out their opponents as they came towards them. But it wasn't until, like I said, the 10 minutes where Saints took advantage. And from the half-back row, the Saints went through the hands, and the ball finds Jack Wellsby, who passes it through to Mark Percival for the first try of the game. Again, Saints are close to the line, and James Roby bundles his way over for a try. Saints on the 4th go for an attack again, and it's just spreading it out wide, and Tommy Makinson decides to kick back inside for Mark Percival's 2nd try. Could have been a lot worse for Wakefield, as Saints had a try disallowed. Tommy Makinson, who was looking for his 150th try for Saints, had one ruled out on the 26th minute. It was Percival that got the final try, well, the 2nd to final try. But Brad Walker puts in a delicious kick for Tom Johnson, who got on the end of the kick and dotted down on the left edge. That made the score 16-4, but unfortunately Wakefield weren't able to take advantage of the kicking, and that's how the score ends at half time, as we see Wakefield, despite all their endeavour, going in behind to another top Saints performance at 16-4 at half time. So we're going to the second half now, and it is Wakefield that start off with all the endeavour, as they are more inventive, better going forward than Saints, and create a couple of chances which they're unable to take hold of. But unfortunately for them, it was Saints who scored, to be honest, the only points of the half, as they go through the hands at Saints towards the right edge, and we see that Saints pass the ball through the hands of Lomax to Welsby, out to Lewis Dodd for his second try in 2 games, which puts a 20 points to 4 Sheen on the performance. Don't know what it was, but that was the 64th minute when the points went over, and Makerson missed the conversion, unfortunately. But both sides didn't have much bluster, thrust, impetus, finishing at the end of it. I think it were 2 sides that were just feeling each other out and going through the motions in what was not bad conditions, but possibly draining, as it's early season flip, shall we say, for both sides. Saints for half a game and Wakefield for 3. Anyway, to finish off the bits and pieces, there was a little bit of excitement at the end of the game, as 3 minutes before the end, David Fafita was sin-binned for obstruction, while Curtis Sirenen was sin-binned for a swinging arm. But that's how the scores ended, with Saints going 3 from 3 against Wakefield, who are yet to have a win or any points on the scoreboard. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share this video worldwide, so that we can get the good word of Rugby League out there to all our followers and to bring in new followers. So tell me what your thoughts are of the 2 games. I brought you the highlights. OKR starting to get back some form, momentum. It looks like Tony Smith has got them humming again. Will they be as good as last year? I don't think so, as I think the quality is a little bit less, but they will be tougher to beat. St Helens didn't do too well in the second half against a Wakefield side. Was that them putting on the gas, stepping off the gas a little, due to being good enough to force Wakefield back and deter their attacks? Or is Wakefield just that bad? Do you fear for Wakefield this time? Them and Cass seem to be having their issues at the moment. The Challenge Cup, some good games there. I'm hoping the Navy do very, very well. I don't see them getting a result at Batley, but if they do, that'd be fantastic for them, as they will have another championship club possibly, because there's one League One or League One side tie to go through. But yeah, Rugby League all weekend. I'll be happy to see it all. In the meantime though, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you keep sharing and subscribing to the channel, as I appreciate everything that you guys do. Comment on today's video, tell me what your thoughts are. So thank you for watching, all the best, stay safe, I'll see you in the next one.